This is your before and after story, where your first steps towards a new life-changing career begin. Southeastern College can take you there. We offer in-demand hybrid and online programs with hands-on training, led by in-field career professionals, and career services to put you on the path to a rewarding and fulfilling future. This is where your transformation begins. Southeastern College, your future is bright. Visit sec.edu to get started.
Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're warping into a pop culture rivalry for the ages, Star Trek versus Star Wars. You've sent us a really fascinating mix of articles and box office data, character deep dives, and even some potential crossovers.
It really is a treasure trove for any sci-fi fan, and our mission is to unpack it all.
Exactly. We're going to figure out what makes each universe tick, see who wins in terms of futuristic tech and timelines, and maybe even spark some ideas for your next movie marathon.
And we might even sell some long-standing debates along the way.
First up, let's talk money. Now, you might think Star Wars is like the undisputed king of the box office.
Right.
With all the hype and merchandise. It feels like everyone's seen at least one of the movies.
That's a common assumption, and while Star Wars certainly dominates in ticket sales, the financial landscape is a little bit more nuanced than it appears.
Okay, this is where things get interesting. The sources you sent show Star Trek actually rakes in more overall revenue. Over $11 billion. How is that even possible?
It's all about long-term strategy. Star Trek has built sort of a multifaceted empire, leveraging its long-running TV series, the merchandise, and even theme park attractions to generate a steady stream of income. Think of it as a well-oiled starship, constantly generating energy.
So Star Trek is playing the long game, like a savvy investor building a diverse portfolio.
Exactly. Whereas Star Wars relies heavily on those big-budget blockbuster film releases to bring in the big bucks, it's a more explosive approach, like a supernova that burns bright but eventually fades.
Now, I'm curious, which approach is more impressive to you? The steady earner or the blockbuster champion? Is it about the raw power of a single explosion or the sustained brilliance of a well-managed engine?
It's a very intriguing question. Both strategies have their merits, and ultimately it comes down to how you define success in the entertainment industry. Are we talking purely about financial gain, or are we looking at long-term cultural impact?
Well, let's jump from finances to timelines. One of the biggest differences between these universes is when they take place. Star Trek is all about the future, boldly going where no one has gone before, starting in the 23rd century.
Yes, Star Trek paints a picture of what humanity could achieve. You know, if we can overcome our current challenges and unite as a species, it's a future where science and exploration reign supreme.
But is it a realistic vision of our future? Some critics argue that Star Trek's optimistic outlook ignores the darker aspects of human nature, the potential for conflict and greed.
That's a valid point. Even in Star Trek, we see examples of corruption, prejudice, and war. The Federation, while idealistic, isn't without its flaws.
On the flip side, we have Star Wars, which famously takes place a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. It's a mythical setting, intentionally vague and timeless.
Exactly. That ambiguity allows Star Wars to tap into universal themes, good versus evil, heroism and redemption. That resonates across cultures and time periods. It's like a modern-day fairy tale set in space.
But does that make Star Wars any less relevant to our lives here and now? Can a story set in a distant past still offer insights into our present?
Absolutely. The themes explored in Star Wars, the struggle for freedom, the corrupting influence of power, the importance of hope, these are all as relevant today as they were centuries ago.
Okay, so we've covered money and timelines. Now let's get to the fun stuff, the technology. Star Trek has given us some truly iconic tech, the transporter, the holodeck. And some of these inventions feel surprisingly within reach, even inspiring real-world research.
The transporter. With its ability to dematerialize matter and reassemble it elsewhere, it's captured the imaginations of scientists and engineers for decades. And in recent years, we've seen incredible advancements in quantum teleportation, which involves transferring the quantum state of a particle from one location to another.
Hold on. Are you telling me that Scotty could actually beam me up someday?
Well, not quite yet. While scientists have successfully teleported photons and even atoms, teleporting a complex living being is still in the realm of science fiction. But who knows what the future holds? The line between science fiction and reality is constantly blurring.
Speaking of blurring lines, let's talk about the holodeck. Imagine stepping into a virtual world where you could experience anything you can imagine. It'd be like living inside your favorite movie or video game.
The holodeck is a fascinating concept that touches on our growing interest in virtual reality and immersive entertainment. And while we're not quite at the level of realism depicted in Star Trek, virtual reality technology is rapidly advancing, offering us glimpses of what a holodeck-like experience might one day feel like.
While Star Trek aims for plausibility, Star Wars goes for awe, with lightsabers and the Force. Would you trade the transporter for a lightsaber, listener?
That's a tough one. The lightsaber is undeniably cool, a weapon of pure energy that can cut through almost anything. But the Force, with its mystical powers and connection to all living beings, is equally fascinating.
And while lightsabers are pure fantasy, the Force raises interesting questions about the nature of consciousness, the power of belief, and the potential for untapped human abilities. It speaks to our spiritual side, our desire to believe in something beyond the material world.
It also raises some ethical dilemmas. Imagine the potential for abuse if such a power fell into the wrong hands. It's a theme that's explored throughout the Star Wars saga, highlighting the importance of responsibility and that constant struggle between good and evil.
We've been talking about the tech that wows in both Star Trek and Star Wars, but what about the characters who wield that tech? Both franchises have given us some of the most iconic characters in pop culture history.
Absolutely. These characters have become cultural touchstones, inspiring generations of fans with their courage, their wit, and their unwavering commitment to their ideals.
We all know the big names: Kirk, Spock, Picard, Luke, Leia, Han Solo. But I think it's time to dig a little deeper. Let's go beyond the surface and uncover some hidden gems.
I like where you're going with this. Instead of just listing names, let's analyze how these characters have evolved over time, reflecting changing social values, challenging our perceptions.
For example, Spock, with his logic-driven personality, was groundbreaking in the 1960s. He represented a departure from the typical emotional, hot-headed heroes of the time.
Yeah, his Vulcan heritage and his struggle to reconcile his human and alien sides resonated with audiences during a time of social upheaval and cultural change. Spock became a symbol of embracing diversity and finding strength in our differences.
And as the Star Trek franchise evolved, so did Spock. Later iterations of the character explored his emotional depth and his capacity for compassion, challenging the stereotype of the emotionless Vulcan.
It's a testament to the writer's willingness to adapt and grow with the times, reflecting the changing understanding of human nature and the complexities of identity.
Now, on the Star Wars side, we have Princess Leia, who shattered the mold of the damsel in distress. She was a leader, a fighter, and a strategist, proving that women could be just as capable and heroic as their male counterparts.
Leia's impact on popular culture cannot be overstated. She became a feminist icon, inspiring countless young girls with her strength, her intelligence, and her refusal to be defined by traditional gender roles.
And like Spock, Leia's character evolved over time. In the later films, we see her grappling with the complexities of leadership, the burden of responsibility, and the emotional toll of war.
It's a reminder that even the most iconic heroes are human with their own flaws, doubts, and vulnerabilities, and it makes their triumphs all the more meaningful.
Okay, we've talked about individual characters, but let's zoom out and look at the crews as a whole. The camaraderie, the banter, the shared sense of purpose. These are all essential ingredients in both Star Trek and Star Wars.
The dynamic between the crew members is crucial to the success of both franchises. It's about the bonds of friendship, the loyalty, the trust that develops when people face extraordinary challenges together.
Think about the original Star Trek crew. Kirk, Spock, McCoy, Uhura, Scotty, Sulu, Chekhov. They were like a family, each bringing their unique skills and personalities to the table.
And in Star Wars, we have the iconic trio of Luke, Leia, and Han Solo, their personalities clashing and complementing each other as they fight against the Empire.
These crews become more than just a collection of individuals. They become a symbol of unity, of collaboration, of what humanity can achieve when we work together towards a common goal.
It's a message that resonates deeply with audiences, particularly in times of division and uncertainty. It reminds us of the power of community, of the importance of finding common ground and working together to overcome challenges.
We've covered the money, the timelines, the tech, and the characters. We've even touched on the philosophical and ethical questions raised by these universes. But there's one more aspect I want to explore: the visual spectacle.
Ah, yes, the visual storytelling, the special effects, the artistry that brings these worlds to life.
Think about the first time you saw the Enterprise on the big screen, or the Millennium Falcon making the Kelson run in less than 12 parsecs. Those moments are seared into our collective memory.
Both franchises have pushed the boundaries of visual effects, creating breathtaking imagery that transports us to other worlds and immerses us in the action.
From the vastness of space to the intricate details of alien landscapes and starship interiors, the visuals play a crucial role in creating a sense of wonder and excitement.
And it's not just about the big, flashy effects. The use of lighting, color, and composition adds layers of meaning and emotion to every scene.
Think about the iconic scene in The Empire Strikes Back, where Darth Vader reveals his true identity to Luke, the dimly lit chamber, the dramatic use of shadows, the close-up on Luke's face as he grapples with this devastating truth. It's a masterclass in visual storytelling.
And in Star Trek II, the Wrath of Khan, the final battle between the Enterprise and Khan's ship, takes place in a nebula, the swirling colors and ethereal lighting adding a sense of beauty and tragedy to the conflict.
These visual elements enhance the narrative, create memorable moments, and leave a lasting impact on the viewer.
They also reflect the evolution of filmmaking technology over time. Compare the special effects in the original Star Wars trilogy to those in the prequels and the sequels. The advancements in CGI and digital filmmaking have allowed filmmakers to create increasingly realistic and immersive worlds.
But even with all the advances in technology, there's still something to be said for the practical effects used in the earlier films. The models, the miniatures, the matte paintings, they have a certain charm and authenticity that's hard to replicate digitally.
It's a reminder that the most effective visual storytelling is about more than just technical prowess. It's about using those tools to tell a compelling story and evoke emotions in the audience.
Speaking of emotions, let's shift gears and talk about the music. Both Star Trek and Star Wars have iconic soundtracks that have become inseparable from their respective universes.
Ah, yes, the music. It's the heartbeat of these franchises, adding layers of emotion, tension, and grandeur to every scene.
Think about the soaring theme song to Star Trek. Instantly recognizable, and instantly transporting you to the bridge of the Enterprise.
Or the iconic opening fanfare of Star Wars, a musical declaration of epic adventure. That sends chills down your spine.
Both franchises have been fortunate to have incredibly talented composers who have created music that has become synonymous with their respective universes.
Alexander Courage, Jerry Goldsmith, and Michael Giacchino for Star Trek, each bringing their own unique style to the franchise while maintaining that core sense of optimism and exploration.
And of course, the legendary John Williams for Star Wars, whose epic orchestral scores have defined the soundscape of a galaxy far, far away.
The music doesn't just accompany the action, it enhances it. It amplifies the drama, creates a sense of wonder and excitement, and evokes a wide range of emotions in the audience.
Think about the emotional impact of Spock's death scene in The Wrath of Khan. The music swelling as Kirk delivers his eulogy, a poignant blend of grief and admiration.
Or the triumphant finale of A New Hope, the music soaring as the Rebel Alliance destroys the Death Star, a moment of pure cinematic jubilation.
The music is more than just background noise. It's an integral part of the storytelling, a powerful tool that connects with us on a visceral level.
It's a testament to the power of music to transcend language and cultural barriers, speaking directly to the heart and soul of the viewer.
Okay, we've talked about the visual spectacle, the music, the characters, the tech. We've even debated the merits of the prequels. But now it's time to tackle a question that has plagued fandom for decades. Which universe would you rather live in?
Ah, yes. The ultimate hypothetical scenario. It's a question that sparks endless debate and forces us to consider what we truly value in a society.
Star Trek offers a vision of a future where humanity has evolved beyond its petty differences, embracing diversity, logic, and a thirst for knowledge.
The Federation, while not perfect, represents a society that strives for peace, understanding, and the betterment of all its citizens. Poverty, hunger, and disease have been largely eradicated, and resources are distributed equitably.
Sounds pretty utopian, right? But some critics argue that Star Trek's vision is too idealistic, ignoring the complexities of human nature and the potential for conflict.
There's certainly a debate to be had about whether such a society could realistically exist. But I think the appeal of Star Trek lies in its optimism, its belief in the potential for humanity to overcome its flaws and create a better future.
On the other hand, we have Star Wars, a galaxy far, far away filled with adventure, romance, and epic battles between good and evil.
It's a universe where ancient prophecies and mystical forces shape destiny, where individuals can rise to become heroes or fall prey to their darker impulses.
But it's also a galaxy where political corruption, social inequality, and violent conflict are rampant. The Empire, with its authoritarian rule and disregard for individual freedom, serves as a cautionary tale against the dangers of unchecked power.
So choosing between Star Trek and Star Wars isn't just about personal preference, it's about aligning yourself with a particular set of values and beliefs.
Do you value order and stability, or freedom and individuality? Do you believe in the power of logic and reason, or the importance of intuition and faith?
These are questions that each individual must answer for themselves. There's no right or wrong answer, only different perspectives on what makes a society worth living in.
And perhaps the most important takeaway is that both universes, despite their differences, offer us valuable insights into our own world and our own humanity.
They challenge us to think critically about our values, our choices, and our role in shaping the future.
And they remind us that even in the face of overwhelming odds, there's always hope, always a chance to fight for what's right, and always the potential for good to triumph over evil.
Now, while we're on the topic of choices and values, I'd like to shift our focus to a particularly intriguing aspect of both franchises, their exploration of ethical dilemmas.
Ooh, this is where things get really interesting. Because both Star Trek and Star Wars don't shy away from tackling tough questions about morality, responsibility, and the consequences of our actions.
Let's start with Star Trek and its famous Prime Directive, the principle of non-interference in the development of alien civilizations. It sounds noble in theory, but in practice it often leads to difficult choices.
Imagine encountering a pre-warp civilization on the brink of self-destruction. Do you intervene and risk altering their natural course of development, or do you stand by and watch as they destroy themselves?
It's a classic ethical dilemma, one that forces us to consider the limits of our own moral authority and the potential consequences of interfering in the affairs of others.
And it's a dilemma that's explored in numerous Star Trek episodes, challenging characters and viewers alike to grapple with the complexities of interstellar diplomacy and the unintended consequences of good intentions.
Now, over in the Star Wars galaxy, the Force presents its own set of ethical challenges. It's a powerful force that can be used for good or evil, and the line between the two is often blurred.
Think about Anakin Skywalker's fall to the dark side. He was a Jedi Knight, sworn to defend the galaxy from evil, but his fear, anger, and desire for power led him down a path of destruction.
It raises questions about the corrupting influence of power, the importance of self-control, and the dangers of succumbing to our baser instincts.
And the Force itself isn't necessarily a neutral force. It can be manipulated, twisted, and used for selfish gain. It's a reminder that even the most seemingly benevolent powers can be corrupted. It's wielded by those with ill intent.
So, both Star Trek and Star Wars, despite their fantastical settings and futuristic technologies, offer us valuable lessons about the complexities of morality, the challenges of ethical decision-making, and the importance of holding ourselves accountable for our actions.
They force us to confront difficult questions, challenge our assumptions, and explore the gray areas of right and wrong.
And ultimately, they remind us that even in the vast expanse of space, the most important battles are often fought within ourselves.
Welcome back to the Deep Dive. We've spent the last two parts exploring the vast universes of Star Trek and Star Wars, from their financial empires to the philosophical questions they raise.
We've analyzed their technologies, we've dissected their characters, and even debated which universe we'd rather live in.
But now we face the ultimate question. Which of these science fiction giants will truly stand the test of time?
A question that has sparked a lot of debate among fans, but I think it's more nuanced than just like declaring a winner.
Right. It's not a popularity contest. We're talking about lasting impact, about which franchise will continue to resonate with audiences generations from now.
Exactly. So let's shift our focus from verses to values. What are the core elements that have allowed both Star Trek and Star Wars to endure for so long?
Well, one key factor is their ability to adapt and evolve with the times. Both franchises have managed to stay relevant by reflecting changing social values and incorporating new ideas into their narratives.
Think about how Star Trek, which premiered in the 1960s, featured a diverse crew that challenged the racial and gender norms of the time. Uhura, a black woman in a position of authority, was groundbreaking for television.
And Star Wars, while set in a fantastical galaxy, tackled themes of rebellion against tyranny and the fight for freedom, resonating with audiences during a time of social and political upheaval.
Both franchises have continued to evolve, addressing contemporary issues and reflecting the diversity of their fan base. We've seen LGBTQ+ representation, characters grappling with mental health, and storylines that tackle complex social and political issues.
That willingness to adapt is essential for any long-lasting franchise. It allows the stories to remain relevant and connect with new generations of viewers.
Another crucial element is the power of mythology. Both Star Trek and Star Wars have created these expansive universes with rich histories and complex characters and compelling mythologies that draw viewers in and invite them to explore.
Think about the intricate details of the Star Wars expanded universe. The Jedi Order, the Sith, the ancient prophecies. It's a world you can get lost in, with endless possibilities for storytelling.
And Star Trek, with its exploration of different alien cultures, its detailed technical manuals, and its philosophical underpinnings, offers a similarly rich and rewarding universe for fans to delve into.
These mythologies provide a framework for endless stories and spin-offs, allowing the franchises to expand beyond their original films and television shows.
That ability to expand and create new content is crucial for long-term success. It keeps the franchises fresh and engaging for both longtime fans and newcomers.
But it's not just about quantity, it's about quality. The new content needs to be well-written, well-produced, and respectful of the original source material.
Exactly. Fans are discerning, and they can smell a cash grab from a parsec away. The new stories need to offer something new and exciting while staying true to the spirit of the original.
And that's a delicate balance to strike. But when it's done right, the results can be spectacular.
Think about the recent success of shows like The Mandalorian and Star Trek, Strange New Worlds. They've managed to capture the essence of their respective franchises while introducing new characters, storylines, and perspectives.
That's a sign that both Star Trek and Star Wars are in good hands. The creative teams behind these shows understand what makes these universes tick, and they're committed to honoring the legacy while pushing the boundaries of what's possible.
And that's ultimately what it comes down to, a combination of adaptation, mythology, and creative vision.
The franchises that can adapt to changing times, build upon their existing mythologies, and attract talented creators who are passionate about the source material are the ones that will ultimately stand the test of time.
And both Star Trek and Star Wars have demonstrated that they possess those qualities in spades.
So, while we may never definitively answer the question of which franchise will reign supreme, I think we can safely say that both Star Trek and Star Wars will continue to captivate and inspire audiences for generations to come.
They've become more than just entertainment. They've become cultural touchstones and shared languages and sources of inspiration for countless individuals around the world.
They've taught us about the importance of diversity, the power of hope, and the boundless possibilities of the human imagination.
And they've given us a glimpse of what we might achieve if we dare to dream big, embrace our differences, and work together towards a better future.
So live long and prosper, and may the Force be with you, always.
It's been an absolute pleasure diving deep into these incredible universes with you.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep boldly going where no one has gone before.
Today is your lucky day. Today is the day that our $3 website works for you, paying you directly to your PayPal daily. Imagine $3 ongoing continuous payments to your PayPal account. Imagine falling asleep and waking up to $300 in your PayPal account. How would this make you feel? How could this help you? What bills could you pay? What kind of fun could you have? What does that retirement look like now? All for a one-time payment of $3. This website is DFY done for you, fully built and completely hosted, and never stops collecting payments for you. You have spent $3 on coffee on a regular, but that coffee won't help you create multiple streams of income. Click the link below.